Hi, friends. Welcome back to Beyond the Screen, the Family Connection podcast, where we explore ideas, tools, and conversations that help families raise curious, connected kids without relying on screens to do it all for us. I'm Dr. Samantha Hayes, educator, parent, and founder of Beyond the Screens Families. And today we are talking about something that is so important, and that is connection and connection through play and those everyday moments where you don't need a screen to do it. In fact, I think it's probably preferable. Uh, and I have with me Claire, founder of Connection Made Simple. She is a mom, a teacher, a homeschooler, and an advocate for making those small moments count. Claire, do you want to share a little bit about yourself, why you started this work, anything to help everybody get to know you better?
Yes, Samantha, thank you so much for having me on this podcast. And as you know, I'm passionate about connection. Moms, not only moms, I talk about moms a lot, but it's moms, dads, everybody in the family. Connection made simple. That's like those three words I love to use every day. Connection can be so simple as something you can do in the everyday. I find, why did I start this? Because a lot of moms I talk to have that, social media, online, even society pressure and standards to be that like super fun mom who goes all out and will plan like a whole weekend of fun
Yes.
activities, buy those expensive toys or, the latest, like the most trendy toys or activities. And I'm like, Mama, it can be so simple. You don't need to spend your money. I'm not saying there's a nuance here. I'm not saying you shouldn't do these things or like plan those fun outings, to the zoo or like the movies or, activities like this. But what I'm saying is that you don't need those things to connect with your kids, to bond with them, to feel close to them, and to really nurture and build that relationship with them, right?
Mm-hmm,
So that's
mm-hmm.
what it's all about. I had a light bulb moment a few weeks ago where I realized, why did I start this? Because first of all, I've been a teacher for 10 plus years, and I've seen how you can just like spark connection and play with anything around you in the classroom. It works at home as well. And the other thing was like I was looking back and thinking back to my own childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And fun fact, I grew up without a TV. So
What?
yes, I grew up without screens, without a TV at home. I know I was that weird kid. Everybody was like, Your
Yeah,
family's
you
weird."
are old enough to where there weren't TVs available. You just grew
Right?
up with that one.
I grew up in the 90s, and so I was that weird kid, right? But when I think of that today, I'm like, okay. So I didn't grow up with a TV, but the way that uh, what shaped my childhood was really to, look around me and find anything that I could play
Mm-hmm.
with, basically, and turn it into, pretend play or like imagine, like we would imagine, create so many things. I have a younger sister, and I'm also very thankful and blessed to have a very playful dad who
Oh.
would like play with us, would just like he was like, okay, let's dress up and we're gonna bake a cake. And it was like a random Wednesday afternoon. And it was like, like things like that, right? And so it's also because of what I experienced as a child. And I remember those moments of me like just in the backyard and just coming up with the most random play ideas with whatever we had around us. I think my childhood, the fact that I grew up without a TV and I had a very present and playful dad, and my experience as a teacher and also at our church, I've been the children's ministry coordinator for a couple of years. All of these things just all came together, and I just saw that one line, like everything, there was something in common, and it was how connection, play, spontaneous relationship building can be just so simple with any
Mm-hmm.
and everything at hand. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love every time you post something, I'm always like, yes, like shouting behind it because I'm looking like it's like you got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Take that 5 minutes to connect. Like you're always posting those like reminders, or like, or like the if you're not doing it, or you've never had that experience like what you've had, it's just helping people understand like it doesn't have to be complex. Like it
Right.
doesn't have to be the apple orchard. Only
Exactly.
because I just did that. The apple orchard every single weekend, or like packing the schedule full. Like those small moments matter.
Yes.
And they're
And
easy. They're easy to
yeah,
cultivate.
they are. They are. It's just a very tiny switch, and like really being like noticing what you can use around you, and also those moments, like for example, hard transitions, especially for like
Mhm.
younger kids,
Mhm. Mhm.
instead of it becoming like a power struggle or a battle, just like a playful voice, a funny sound, just any sentence sometimes. And I did that in the classroom as well. I remember just one funny sentence, like something that doesn't make sense, just saying it out loud while you do something,
Uh-huh.
like while you put on your shoes or while you stir uh, dinner. It changes the whole mood.
Yeah, for both, right? Like I,
Or
I
both.
think for both, like even if you're, I don't know, sometimes I get cranky moods where I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ah,
Same.
everybody's on me," and like
Yeah.
shifting your voice, doing something like that. It's something simple that shifts the mood for kids and adult, right? Like
For both. It's a reset for both. I totally agree
yes,
with that. Yes.
yes, yeah.
Yes.
So you talk a lot about the micro moments, which we've kind of been hitting on a lot. Why do you think that matters so much for kids and the families? Those little tiny moments.
Because we live in 2025 and
Mm,
life goes by fast, right?
mhm,
And we
mhm.
also have that device that's always, here in our either in our hands or nearby. And that's something that a lot of people will reach for. It's become also a type of addiction, right? And
Yeah.
2025, like life goes by so fast. We're busy, we're running, our to-do list is never ending, right? As moms, we also have that mental load. So those micro moments that you can find during a regular day are so important, because these are the little moments. Sometimes it's just like one moment here and there, but they will build up, and
Mm,
our kids will remember those. And some, like
mhm,
let's say just yesterday I was making supper. So I was making pasta, and I know my 4-year-old, she loves to be in control and to do things herself. And she was, if she's right,
no, not a
nothing new.
4-year-old.
So she was playing in the living room, because as I always say, also we're not raising bedroom kids.
Yep.
We're
Yeah.
raising
Yep.
backyard, living room, kitchen kids, right?
Yep.
I stand by that. And so she was playing, and I was like, okay, I'll do dinner. At some point, I noticed that she was coming near me, and I was just grabbing my phone to text a friend or something like that. And as the water was boiling and the pasta was ready to be poured, and I saw that she was kind of looking and not sure what, she was just walking around. And so I was like, okay, that's the micro moment we're going to take. So I turned to her and I said, hey, would you like to help me? Would you like to pour the pasta inside in the pot? And like she was like, oh, mom, I want to do this. So she felt
Mhm.
so empowered, so special. And then she was like, okay, but we need to wait a few minutes, right? Until it's ready. Like, so we set the timer for like 9 minutes. And during those 9 minutes, she could have gone back to playing in the living room, which she sometimes does. But I could see that she kind of wanted to stay there, right?
Mm,
So I used that micro moment to tell her about when I was a kid, and how I would also help my mom in the kitchen, and how what we would cook. So I tried to remember a time where my mom and I made some sort of dish, and I told her, hey, I'm going to tell you a story, 2-minute story. And I told her a story about my childhood, and it laid like our bond. I could feel that she was so
yeah.
happy, and the rest of the day we were just like, she was so happy, and she said, mom, can you tell me that story again before I go to bed tonight,
Mhm.
so it's just those little moments,
Mhm.
uh, instead of like, and it's not going to happen at every single, certain transition or routine during the day. But those are the moments that we need to look at and notice and say, hey, I can integrate some one-on-one time with my child, or I can do this and that in my daily mundane tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes a difference. And I know
Mm-hmm.
that she'll remember that story 20 years from now and how she felt when we bonded back there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's such a powerful example too of like I talk a lot about quality versus quantity,
Yes.
and such a powerful example of how you can take something so small, just this like micro little moment, and turn it into such a quality bonding moment that sets that foundation, right? Like you're developing her foundation.
Or life. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Being who she becomes, and
Yes.
also our relationship when she's going to be a teenager and an adult. And, it's so important.
Yes. And I love how like you started it by highlighting like I was texting my friend, I was doing like because that's mom life and dad life and like it's human existence right
It
now.
is. It is.
But you didn't have to like plan this big because I'm not an advocate for Pinterest perfect either. Like this big
Hmm.
elaborate thing just to connect with your child. Like it was as simple as involving her in the task you were already doing.
Yeah,
Mm,
exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
I
That's
love it.
what we try to do every day because it's so simple and it's so
Mhm,
powerful. I'm all about simplifying motherhood. So,
mhm,
and
mhm,
make it also count, like moments count. I know
mhm.
it's, and some moms, sometimes they tell me, or they send me a DM and say like, how do you do it? And I tell them, you know what? I'm not always taking every single moment and transforming them or flipping them into a moment of connection with my kids. That would be impossible. But it's just
You'd be
noticing those moments.
superwoman for that if you could.
Right. No, we're all humans. Like, so we gotta also give ourselves some grace. But it's just really noticing the moments, and really it's also like, and with practice, because I've talked to moms also who tell me, hey, like, I'm not naturally playful, right?
Uh-huh,
And so I
uh-huh,
get that a lot. And I'm like,
uh-huh.
you don't have to be naturally playful. And that's also where I come in and, I help them with different strategies. But it's
Mhm,
something that you can learn because we all learn, right? Life is learning every day, all the time. And giving them the right tools, the strategies, and a mindset shift to be able to feel closer to our kids in the day
mhm,
to day without burning out. That's important.
mhm. Yeah, and I heard you say something that I think is really important, and that's like honoring who you are, right?
Yeah.
Also within it. So if you're not I mean, you and I are both like the sing-songy kind of people. So
Hmm.
I always say like my life could be a musical.
Yeah.
But that's not everybody. And so it's like also looking into, and I just heard this when you were talking about it, like the looking into who am I and how do I capitalize on micro moments, honoring who I am, not who Claire is, not who, like honoring who I am and being able to just really set that strong foundation for my own kids within my own self.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are some of because you also talked about like your daughter playing in the in the living room and in the kitchen and stuff like that, but what are some of your favorite like go-to ideas for play? Because I think those also set up some micro moments too, or moments of connection even, that don't require the screens, the fancy toys, the elaborate setups, all of that.
Yes. You know that Amazon package that you get weekly or bi-weekly, or doesn't matter how often you get those. Usually it'll go straight into the recycling bin. Even my husband, he's like, okay, we're not going to keep all of those boxes, and I agree. But those boxes, it's crazy how you can just take them, put them in the living room, a few of them, and tell your kids, okay, be creative. It doesn't even really matter. Even my 2-year-old, I have a 2.5-year-old who will start, drawing on it. And for older kids, like you can have them, for example, get a few boxes, or like, toilet paper roll,
Mhm.
right? Or like, how do you call these in English? Paper towel, the one
Yeah,
with
the
the
paper
kitchen.
towel.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And like, let's do like something like an experiment. So you take a marble and you ask your kids to build out of, Amazon boxes or whatever they can find around the house to build kind of a circuit.
Like a marble run
Yes, kind of a marble run.
where they
And
can,
like they have to use at
yeah,
least like 2 or
yeah,
3 different
yeah,
machines, like ways that the marble will be able to go through, right? The box
yes,
and the paper power rolls and all of these things that you can find around the house, even like, water bottles or anything. And
yes.
this is a nice challenge. I know that I've done that at school with my students too, and I've started doing it at home even with my young kids, and they love it. Sometimes they're like, Mom, we're going to take, 10 minutes. We want to figure it out on our own. And then I have that time to, go do something else, also having some time to myself, and I'll come back and we'll look at it together. And it's just like, it's anything around the house you can repurpose, you can use for creative play. I don't know about you and your kids, but like my kids do pretend play all the time as well. Like they will just grab anything. I'm a musician, I sing, and I gave them a challenge the other day. I was like, okay, girls, you have 2 minutes, put a timer. I use timers a lot. Visual timers helps so much. And I tell them, go and find me anything in the house that would be that would look like a mic that we can use as a microphone. They even went to get the deodorant upstairs in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh!
The deodorant, and then the water bottle, a spoon, and different things. Like I would have to remember, but like they got super creative, and I had at least like 8 or 9 different type of mics aligned on the living room couch. And then we were like, okay, I'm gonna set the timer. I think it was in the morning. We had like 15 minutes before going to playgroup, and I said, okay, we're gonna do a mini concert, so let's do 1 song each and then pick your mic. And it's just, it even sounds ridiculous or silly, but kids learn and develop and grow with play, which includes also silliness, and it's right.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you how many times when I've been wanting to break the tension, if there was something going on, I would use play. Not every single time, but I would use play, and it would soften the whole mood and shift everything. So it's not, some people are like, oh yeah, well that's simple, or it's kind of I'm like, no, it's very powerful. It's simple, but like simple play, silliness, anything you can do. Just I let my kids sometimes jump. Like there's a specific part of the house where we have like beds, and they will jump there, and we'll play that it's a boat, and they can't fall down because then they're going to the water, and we have to play rescue. So it's just anything around the house you can repurpose, right?
Yeah. And you've kind of alluded to this, and so I want to bring it up even because you're taking these purposeful moments with them, and then your kids, and I'm hearing this, and I just want to make sure your kids then also can play independently. Like,
yes, that's the thing.
yeah,
That's the secret.
I
That's
think
the
I
magic.
think people need to like hear this piece a lot, because
Yeah.
I think there's this fear that if I play with my kids or I like tap into that, that's how it's going to have to be all the time. And I don't have the capacity or the energy or whatever for that. I mean, that's why people are also, I feel like, scared of getting rid of personalized devices for kids, because it's, oh, then I'm going to have to replace and take over and do all of these things. And so can you talk just a little bit more about maybe that piece, like the fact that your kids are independent at 2 and 4, right? Like,
Yeah.
at
They
2
will
and 4.
play for very long stretches,
Mm-hmm.
while I will, I'll do some work emails, or I'll do something else. Sometimes I'll just, now it's getting colder, but even the kids, I can see them through the window. So I would even go outside on the patio and like take 15, 20 minutes, even more. And they would play in the living room, either with something that we took, like any repurposed item around the house, and they would come up with something creative, and I tell them, okay, like with a timer, or even sometimes without a timer, they're like, Mom, we've got this. You can do whatever you
Mhm.
need to do, right?
Mhm.
And then I come back and I reconnect with them. I wouldn't say every single time, like a lot of activities they'll do independently, and other
Yeah.
activities like, Mom, we like to do this with you, so we'll do that. But, and that's actually funny that you're bringing this up, because I'm currently working on a resource. I'm still working around the name, because I change my mind all the time about titles for for digital products, but I'm working about around a resource that will help parents use repurpose different
Mm.
things around the house and use those things as it will have a dual purpose. So it will serve for independent play, and that same idea they'll be able to use for bonding play, as I like to call it, right?
Mhm.
So this is in
Mhm.
the works, and I'm really excited about this because so many parents are looking for that. And so
Mhm.
I'll say, magnetic tiles. It was so fun,
I love them.
right? My kids too, and I even use them for math. And when I teach them, but it's like versatile, right?
Yes. Oh, yes.
So even that, like the girls know, for example, in the morning, they'll take, let's say, I don't know, X amount of minutes, and they will build something. So that will be their independent play. And I'll tell them, okay, like in half hour, I'll come and we're gonna play together with what you've built, right? So they build something, and then I come in and we'll take the most random toys, or like even some animal toys that we have, and we'll play that this is a farm or something. Like they have to
Uh-huh.
come up with them. So they play independently, and then I still come in. I don't do that every day, because sometimes they just want to play on their own, and that's fine. But sometimes I'll come in and we're going to play and create some sort of like story, and like, yeah, around what they have built in the first place independently. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're hitting on a couple of things too, like that it's bringing up for me. Number one, your use of timers.
Yeah.
I remember when I had my daughter, my first child, and just being so exhausted and talking to my most favorite pediatrician I've ever had in my entire life
Yeah.
and telling her, like, I feel like I have to be on all the time and this can't be the way it is, right? Like, and she's like, no, no, mama, you don't have to do that. Set your timer.
Mhm.
Start small when, like when she was like one, she's like, you set it for like 2 minutes, then 5 minutes, like, and maybe you create a bin and that's how you start. And she's like, but that will foster that independent play. And like, you're talking about using the timers a lot. Like, you don't always have to,
So
but it is such a good thing visually for kids to see, okay, I'm going to do this by myself, but I can see the timer and mommy's coming in 20 minutes or whatever it is, right? Like,
yeah, and I think kids also thrive on predictability.
that's my other thing I was going to ask you about. Like, the routines, the
Right.
predictability, the structure, like,
Yes.
I hear it in everything you're talking about. How do you think, like, talk to me about that? Because you're like, they thrive on that. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, they do, but I don't believe in like a strict set
Yeah,
schedule.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because a lot of moms are like, okay, this and that at this time, then this, and I've never been like that. I've been
yeah.
kind of naturally, I'm kind of more of a go with the flow mom, which I still am, but there's structure, right? It's not a set
Mhm,
schedule, but there are routines, and
mhm.
there's structure. Like we have it on the fridge, kind of how a daily, like how the day goes. Of course, it's not every day the same thing. In the winter, it will change, but in the morning, we'll have breakfast, and then we'll do a short walk around the neighborhood, right? And that helps so much, by the way, getting out, getting fresh air. That's another whole other topic, right?
I mean, but
So
there's connection in there. So maybe we
yes,
need to talk
there
about
is.
that
I
too.
mean, yes, everything. That's the thing. Everything,
Uh-huh.
and any day, at any moment during the day is an opportunity to connect with your kids, right?
Mhm,
Or
mhm,
to choose again this or
mhm,
so.
mhm,
It's so important to be very aware of that. So yes, routines. We do have routines. They're not like set in stone, let's say, from that time to that time. But
mhm,
the girls know, and they know that after, for example, we'll do like a little math activity. After that, they know that, for example, they'll have some free play. So they kind of know that flow. It's not every day like that again, because some days we're going to go do things differently. And some days of the week, I do work a few hours outside of the home, and my husband comes in. So it's not every day the same, but yes, routines help kids also, it helps them. It actually, in what I've seen, it also prevents potential meltdowns. That's
Yes.
the thing, right?
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
integrating, this is what I love to do, integrating play, spontaneous, as I call them, spark spontaneous, either funny phrases or, specific things in the routines also make them much more interesting. So I'm all about routines, not rigid, not strict, but I think that kids really, really thrive on knowing, okay, we're doing this now, then this comes next. And just to give you an example of how we connect between, for example, after mealtime, when we're going to go and brush our teeth and start the bedtime routine, we do have that little ritual that we created together. And we're singing. My 4-year-old will still do that, but my 2-year-old will sing goodbye to the kitchen and goodbye to the living room. And it's like something we do every night. And then we'll walk backwards to the bathroom to brush our teeth.
It's so fun,
But
like,
it's
and
fun,
simple.
right? And they love it. They're like, Mommy. And the other day I forgot. And they tell me, Mom, you forgot to walk backwards to the bathroom. Now go back and start over. And it's just like, oh, it can be so
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah. Yeah. I love all of this. Like, so if you, for me, one of my biggest connection moments is right before bed. Like, we've read our story. Okay. Yes. We read stories every night. Like, we read books. Like, that's also a connection moment. But my favorite, and I think one of my daughters in particular, because she's been doing it longer, favorite is I ask her, what was your favorite thing from today? What was your least favorite? And sometimes we ask, when were you kind to someone? When was someone kind to you? And that is such for me, it's such an opportunity to get into her brain. And it's a realization. Her favorite is never the big event. It's something silly. Like,
Yeah,
you remember when bro, blah, 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 like that was my favorite moment. It's always the little things.
it is.
Always. It's, I mean, like, long term, she might be like, I really loved when we went to Legoland, but the day to day, the foundation, it's those little simple moments. So what about, like, do you have some ideas? Like, if somebody's listening to this today and they're like, okay, I'm gonna try a connection moment, right? Do you have something that might hit different kinds of people, like some ideas that they might be able to go and be like, I tried this, that didn't work for me, but let me try this one now. Do you have some ideas? You like opera singing? I know that one. Like,
I do. I do. But see,
or
that's the
singing
thing.
in general.
Yeah, that's the thing. But some people won't,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
When it comes
I'm
to that.
for
So
it. We can create our own musical together and everybody can just join in.
exactly. So yes, opera voice is definitely, probably, if not my favorite, one of my favorite ones. Just like, especially when, for me, that famous 5 to 7, like the witching hour, they call it. It's like, if your kids are in school, they come back from school and they're like, okay, it's,
Yes.
hyperactive. And if you're a stay-at-home mom and you've been with your kids all day, it's that time of the day where you're like, okay, I'm done, right? So I love singing. So I'll just break into opera mode. And usually I'll sing about what we're doing, or like either like a beatbox or rap or whatever. If it's time, for example, to put the plates on the table, to set the table for dinner. So everybody's playing or doing their own thing and it's getting a little hectic. I'll just start singing and I'll go like, hey, it's time now. Like time to set the plates, time, and I'll say, can you do this? Can you? And it's just, so I sing in French because we speak French at home with my girls. And my husband speaks Spanish to them. And they're learning English in play groups and doing all kinds of things in the community. But so I will start what I want to tell them. Instead of telling the girls, I'll just sing it, right? and I'll sing it, and I'll start even like maybe opening the drawer because they know they can help me and take the plates and everything. So it's, if you feel like you're tense, try it. Try to sing it. See if it works. For me, it does. What you can also do is whisper.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I love to do that sometimes, and I would do that with my students all the time, when I would need their attention, and it works because they're like, "Whoa, what is she doing now? What is she
Yeah.
whispering?" Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So whisper, sing, even doing something also backwards, like walking backwards that I was saying earlier, or just we don't use shoes in the house, but even how do you call those, the slippers?
Yep.
Yeah. So I would, if I will go and I will take my husband's slippers, I will put them on, and I'll just start walking around the house. And I will say, "Oh, what's going on?" And the girls will say, "Mom, you have that slippers on. Like, why?" It's just, it's fun. It's bonding. We don't,
Yes.
you might not, like, people might not see that way, but it's connection, and they remember those things. I remember those funny and silly things from my own childhood at 35 right now. I remember when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, what my dad would do. So I know that they will remember that. And some other things that I can think of. Oh yes, I also love the secret handshake. So before
Me
you leave the
too.
house, yeah, or coming back, like that secret handshake you do with your kids. I actually, I created one with my 4-year-old. I'm creating one with my 2-year-old now. So they have their own, right?
I
Yeah.
love that.
And my husband said that him and I should create our own as
Oh
well.
my gosh, that's awesome.
So we're on this next.
Oh, that's so awesome. A connection moment between the two of you as well, right?
I know that's also very important. Yes. Yeah, yeah.
And I think too, you've highlighted a lot, just like finding the time in the everyday, right? It's so incredibly easy for us to pay attention to this, right? It's made for us to pay attention to this. But being able to put it down and be like, you just want to like scoop in and do what I'm doing. My kids love to unload the dishwasher when I'm unloading the dishwasher. And I know that that day will not always like stay that same way.
That's true. Yes.
But right now I'm like, who's helping?
That's awesome. Awesome. Same here. And I'm like, I hope it lasts for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the simple things really, right? Like it's though all these things that you've highlighted, the simple moments, the little tiny bits of time where you can make a connection, the routines that don't have to be rigid, right? Like you can have flexible routines. But it gives that predictability for kids to look forward to, and they do look forward to it.
They do. They do.
Like
Even
that makes such a huge
Yeah,
difference.
even in the car, for example, like car rides, depending on where we're going, we have a rule in our family where we don't use screens in the car. So that's a moment for us to talk. We can each choose a song and we'll play the song in the car and like play different games. So it's not just inside our home, but it's also when we go on a walk, as we said earlier, or going to the grocery store, in the car, anywhere really where we are, not just at home, but in the day to day, wherever we are.
Yeah, I know you. I've seen many a post from you, or stories. I'm not even sure anymore, but about just the connection in the grocery store, like and
Yeah.
involving your kids in that scenario. And
We turn
and
it
what a
into a game.
Yes, like what a world of a difference that makes. Like briefly for people who might not do this because they might hear like turning it to a game. Oh my gosh, chaos in the grocery store, right? Like what does that look like for you? So I mean, because that might be something that somebody's like, let me take this away. Because sometimes I go to the grocery store and I'm like, ah! And then I have to be like, okay, 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 calm yourself down. It's okay.
Same, same. And same for me. It's I don't get it right every time. And sometimes I'll just do delivery or pickup. I do that. We actually do that. Usually once a week we do our like weekly delivery, and we'll go to the store to get whatever else we need, right? Every week or every
Mhm.
other week. So so the trick, I don't know if it exists in everywhere. In Canada, we have some specific stores where you have like those mini carts for
Some
kids.
do here too.
Yes, and some stores also have that big cart, but it's transformed into sort of like where you usually sit your child. It's kind of a mini car, and they can actually sit there and
We have
drive.
some of those. Yeah.
Amazing. So this is a lifesaver. So this
Uh-huh.
is the first thing. And I will go to a store usually where the kids are allowed to pick a fruit in the fruit and veggie section and eat it, and it's free. So that's the
Mm.
first hack that I do. But we don't always go there, and the kids don't always have a snack right away. But what I tell them, very important for parents, before going into the store, very important to tell the kids what your expectations are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So either before leaving the house or in the car before getting out. Like, okay, we're going to the store. We're going to get, let's say, 10 things, and maybe tell them kind of what we will get. Where if you feel like you could buy, if they sometimes I tell them you can pick one thing each. So sometimes they will do that. There's different things like that. I like to prepare them in advance so they know what the expectations are. You're not allowed to run, the basic stuff. And that helps a lot. And once we're in the store, I'll give them a mission. So I tell them, okay, you need to find something red or you need to find something green while we shop, you know. Sometimes also I will tell them, okay, you're in charge of the cereal. So when we get to the cereal aisle, you're the one who is going to grab it, not your sister. You're the one in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Mm-hmm.
your sister is in charge of the bread. So that helps. They know they have one task.
Yes, yes. And being explicit. I love that. Like the explicitness, I think that goes a long way for kids from soon as they can start understanding like language, like being explicit all the way through. Like even as adults, we like explicitness, but like I do the same thing anytime we go anywhere before we get out of the car. Like we connect over, here's what's happening. Here's how we're going to, like, here's what I expect. No, you may not ask for something. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like those explicit directions and like understanding. It makes a world of a difference when you go in. Like, here's your task. Here's your task. Like,
Yeah.
no fighting.
Yes. And again, predictability. Like they
Yes.
know
Yes.
what we're doing, they know where they're going. And it makes
Yes.
all of the difference for sure.
Yeah. Well, Claire, do you have anything else you feel like we didn't touch on today, but you want to make sure that we definitely get out there?
Well, I think we've covered a lot of things. I just want to tell moms that you're enough. You're an amazing mom, and to not feel all the pressure from, Instagram or Pinterest or whatever standards they show online. And also, even when you talk to mom friends, don't compare yourself to other moms. So I
Mhm.
find that's a big thing.
Mhm.
And to give yourself some grace, one step at a time, and really start noticing the everyday moments, the transitions, something you do in your daily life, and just, find a way with all we've talked about to connect with your child, even if it's just starting by, sitting next to them and a hand on their shoulder, and, just saying, hey, I love being here with you. I love being your mom. Like, I'm the luckiest person in the world. Something as simple as
Mhm.
that just
Mhm.
makes the whole difference. And yeah, then I would tell them to just take it 1 hour at a time, because a lot of moms I talk to are very stretched thin. I mean, we're all busy and we can be overwhelmed, but just to also enjoy the moment, and to also think, because I think it helps to think, okay, what I do today will impact my kids positively in the years to come. It shapes who they are and they become, and it also shapes us, who we will become
Mhm.
also,
Mhm.
and that relationship with our children. And I always ask myself, okay, 15, 20 years from now, who when my child is going through a hard time, who do I want them to call first? Who do I want
Mhm.
to come to first? And I
Mhm.
want that to be me and my husband,
Yes.
because of
Yes.
that bond that we've created, those memories we've made. And I want home for them to be that safe place.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, what a powerful, I mean, what a powerful thing to think about as we're
Mm,
forging ahead with our children and our relationships with them.
yeah, that's a
So people can find you
yes. I'm on
at,
Instagram. I know everybody
yes,
has an Instagram account.
they can find you on Instagram at Claire, period, the mom. Claire, Claire, period, the mom, all smashed together. Like no other things in
You
between there,
got it.
right?
Yep.
And then
Simple.
you have Connection Made Simple, and you have resources available for people through that too, correct?
I do. I do. Several resources. So as I was talking about, so I have a main playbook, which is, that whole lifestyle of really becoming connected in the everyday, but I also have specific short, quick wins in terms of, simple flips that you can make through routines, transitions to connect with your kids. I have some of them that are categorized by, meal times, errands, bedtime, emergency tools as well that we need. And I'm working also on that bonding and independent play toolkit that I'm excited about. So many resources are in the works and coming by the end of this year and in 2026 because I see the need. I talk to so
Mm-hmm.
many moms who are really they're desperate to bond with their kids. They don't know how, or
Mm-hmm.
they're so swamped and they're so overwhelmed with everything going on,
Mm-hmm.
trying to juggle everything at once, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our brain
Yep.
is like a spaghetti. That's how women's brain are usually wired. Everything is interconnected. And so my mission, my goal is to help those moms have the tools that they need to, even if they're not naturally playful, to also go and really and practice and develop and have the right tools to be that playful present mom that they want to be.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Awesome. So go check Claire out at Claire the mom. Claire, period, the mom. Don't forget the period. You'll get somebody else on Instagram. Thanks for listening to us today. Let's continue to create a life full of curiosity, creativity, and connection by fostering moments that stick.